In this video, I want to give you a brief introduction to the world of HTML and developing web pages. So this series is going to be all about creating websites using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and Python. We'll get to the Python portion a little bit later. Right now, we just want to focus on making the greatest websites we can using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript without going too complicated to make like incredibly stylish pages that will take hours and hours of work. So it's just going to be small little segments that when you're actually creating a project, you can apply all the knowledge and combine everything once you're there. Okay, so in HTML, we first need to give, in HTML, we have what are called tags, and these tags we create with these angled brackets greater than, less than. Okay, so inside these we can specify what type of tag we want, and then we can give attributes to those tags, which we'll move on to a little bit later. So let's first. So when you're like creating like a basic HTML web page, or any HTML web page, you first want to give a doc type tag. So what a doc type tag does, it basically just tells the browser that this is an HTML page. Okay, and now what we could do, we could just say like hello, and this would work. This would work in our browser. This would display hello in like plain text. And that's not good practice because now we have like no way to reference this hello inside of our code. So if we need to later create something to change the value of hello, that's not going to work. So we have more and more tags, and HTML's tag a language that just has tags inside of tags inside of tags, and that's just the main structure. Okay, so let's create the root tag of an HTML page. So the root tag of an HTML page is just HTML. And when we create tags other than this, there are a few exceptions. This doc type tag is one of them, but this HTML tag is not. So you need to end the tag. You need to close the tag with the less than, a forward slash, and then a greater than. Yep. And then what we'd do, we'd enter, and then just to make things look cleaner, we'd indent once. And then we can add a new tag inside here and build off the HTML. So the HTML element is like the root element of an HTML page. Okay, so we need this because it helps the browser know like how to interpret this page. So now we need to give a little bit more information to the browser. Like when you go to a web page and you look at the tab in your browser, there's a title, right? And that just tells the browser like what the title of the page should be. And inside our HTML, we can actually give the browser that data. So we're gonna create a head tag, and the head tag is it's an element that contains the meta information about the HTML page. And meta information is just like data that's passed to the browser. I guess you could call it information about information. Okay, and you can use it interchangeably with like the term metadata. Okay, which we'll see later in this series. Okay, but what we've done here, we've created a place for our metadata to be placed, but we haven't actually placed any metadata. So there are a bunch of tags that like are specific to being nested inside this head tag. So if we were to put something here like a p tag, if you don't know what that does, don't worry about it right now. I'll show you that in just in a couple minutes. So if we were to put this here, this would be like weird because p tags don't normally go inside of head. So the head has like these standardized tags that go inside, and one of those standardized tags is the title tag. Now the title tag, inside the title tag, you put a text, and that's what will be rendered as the title in the tab, the text in the tab. Okay, so the title tag specifies the title for the HTML page. Right? And every HTML page can have a title, every HTML page can have head, every HTML page will have an HTML tag. That's just how the language is structured. We just build off these previous tags. Okay, so for the title, let's just say, so I have an HTML file. It's called index.html, which we often use, and we often call our code index.html because that's just like the main home page of our entire web page. So I'm just gonna say inside title, we're just gonna say index. And if you've ever programmed before, coded in like a different language like Python or JavaScript, or both, and I think any programming language actually, you'd see that like quotes are used to specify text, which are called strings, inside your code. While in HTML, we don't need that because it's technically a hypertext markup language. So it's not a programming language per se, but it's a hypertext markup language, and we're just sending text that's going to be shown in a specific way. That's all that HTML really is. Okay, so I'd say we're done specifying metadata for our web page. This is really all. I mean, we don't have like fancy icons in the tab. That will come later when we start getting into external stuff. So if now we need to actually give our web page some we need to give our web page what it actually should be rendered, and when we call this the document's body, which is like, so it's going to act as a container for all the visible things or invisible. Technically, you can make things invisible. We'll get there. We will give all the content inside the document's body, and to create a body, we just do body, which is really simple. HTML is not difficult to read in any way. Okay, so inside our body, we can specify what should be rendered on the page, and there are a number of different tags, a lot of them that you can use. For this one, we're just going to do the p tag that I showed you earlier in the head, and the p tag like belongs in the body, so it would be normal to see a p tag. And what the p tag stands for, p just stands for paragraph. Okay, and this is just going to give us space to write some text inside. So if I say hello comma world, which is like the standard, so we can place text inside our p tag, and that will be rendered out to the thing. So now if we actually like open this file inside of let me just copy the file path. Okay. So let's say we have. I'm sorry. So let's say we have this. So if I just open like the file path. So if I just, I think in your file explorer you can right click and then say like open with Chrome or something. So if you can do that, or you can just type the file path into your browser and it'll redirect you here. So this is what you see with the code that we wrote. That's the code, and I'm just gonna zoom in real quick. So we can see hello, comma, world. Okay, so I guess that worked. I guess that worked. Of course it worked. So if we can, so we need to. Well, this is the main structure of an HTML page. So we see tags nested inside of tags, nested inside of tags. So we have a p tag nested inside your body, nested inside your HTML. Okay, and that's just the structure of HTML. You'll see this everywhere. And what we want to do now, we don't want to just show like a paragraph. Let's give our page a heading. So I'm just gonna say hello world, and then here I'm gonna say how are you, and if I refresh my page, this is what I'll see. Hello, world in big bold letters, and then underneath I'll see how are you in smaller text, which looks paragraph. Okay, so back to our HTML. Let's talk about what actually is going on here. So So in our page, we're returning a text. Okay, we're just returning text that says this, so it's readable by humans. But what our browser knows, when it sees this doc type HTML or this HTML extension, it knows that it needs to render this as HTML. So it's gonna create a space. It's gonna create an area for our HTML to be rendered. So the document, and then it's gonna start off with the meta. And we're gonna define. So it'll look at the head where we define the meta, and you'll see a title. That did I not fill that out? Oh, sorry. I'm pretty sure I thought I filled that out. Yeah, you can add. I might have deleted it. Okay, so then the page will look at the body. It'll look at your H1, which is going to be a big heading. So all of this is encoded into the browser. What each tag actually means and how it should be represented. And then it's going to take a look at the P tag. And then it's going to see that's a paragraph. What it means is encoded into the browser, and then the browser will return it. So if you actually go to your web page, I'm just going to zoom in even farther, and you right click and you press view page source. I don't think you could see that, but if you do that and you look at the page, the source of the page, you'll see exactly what you see inside of our editor. And what this means, this is just text getting sent. And your page just knows this is connected to that, this is connected to that, this is connected to that. Okay, I think that was enough for the brief introduction to HTML. If you are interested in future videos, leave a like, comment down below. I will be continuing the series, hopefully up till we get to like Django and APIs and more interesting things like that. Okay, thank you for watching. See you in the next video.